Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Welcome.
Today, Amanda, we're going to talk about
Taking up space.
taking up space. This is a conversation that Amanda and I have been talking about behind the scenes, and we're actually going to have a meeting about this as soon as we're done recording today. Because Amanda has long struggled with the feeling of taking up space in life. As a kid, she felt like she always had to be the good, quiet kid to keep the peace, and she carried her way through life in much the same way. She became a chronic people pleaser to try to do everything possible to not rock the boat. And ultimately, what this led to is her diminishing her voice and being rather silent on things that really mattered to her. When she was diagnosed, one of the benefits that came from her cancer diagnosis, and we've talked about this a little bit, is it's forced her to a crossroad of choice. Either she speaks up and advocates for herself, or she may risk not being able to have access to care and the treatment that she desires. For a long time, she was doing really well with that. But then, as of lately, as she's transitioning into this next phase of life, she is finding herself struggling with putting herself out there again. She's reluctant to do some of these videos. She's reluctant to have conversations about the impact she wants to make, about seeing brain cancer research become the most funded research. And because of that, we find ourselves almost in sometimes this holding pattern, both as the messaging we want to put out, the larger impact we hope to have on others, and then just us as a couple. Because me personally, I feel like I'm unable to fully move forward because I'm so attached to Amanda at the hip now. So when she's treading water, I'm now treading water with her. What's come up for Amanda is she's back to the space of feeling hesitant or worried about taking up space. And somehow that what she has to say does not matter, or maybe she shouldn't say anything. So I'll let you speak to that a little bit more now about
Okay.
what it means to you. Why do you think it's coming up now? And just wherever you go with it.
So where I'm finding this most is kind of funny that we're having this discussion on Facebook and Instagram, because the way that, like, the hardest thing for me right now is my TikTok account. I follow a lot, a decent amount of people with glioblastoma. A lot of it is caregivers, like wives of people or wives of husband who have GBM, and it just seems like this constant struggle of like steroids and reoccurrences, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't even want to say anything because I am doing well, and I don't want to be another noise in the glioblastoma world, because people um, are having really, really difficult journeys. The difficult journey kind of mimics the closest person I got in my glioblastoma diagnosis was, her name is Janine, and it makes me feel not like irrelevant, but my struggle is going well for the most part. So, like, why would I be another noise or another person talking? And I know that sounds silly, because initially, when I got diagnosed with glioblastoma, all I did was look for the long term survivors. I did exactly what they did. I reached out to them. And so I find it's really interesting that I'm not doing what I did when I began my diagnosis. And so there's just this part of me that survivorship, survivor guilt is a real thing. And I'm not guilty that I'm doing well. My heart hurts for those who are not doing well. That's the difference.
Yeah, I hear that. And what do you think changed for you where you felt good about reaching out? You felt good about being a voice of hope for others.
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden you wanted to withdraw from that?
Just seeing how fast this disease can progress in different individuals. And I'm feeling quite guilty that my journey has been what it's been, which I know that sounds ridiculous, but it doesn't at the same time. Like, I'm just being very honest, as I know that my journey has been um, really not glioblastoma typical, right? In a little bit of a way. And
Why do you feel like you need to compare your journey, or you are comparing your journey with others, as opposed to just letting your journey be your journey?
I don't, I think there is just like that guilt. And no one is causing me to feel guilty. I'm causing myself to feel
Well, it's a
guilty.
familiar feeling for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something that you wrestled with your whole life,
Hmm.
right? And this goes back to the taking up space.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Do you want to speak to that at all?
about my life.
Yeah, just like how it's played out throughout your life, because it's not something that this isn't a new thing for you. Obviously, going through glioblastoma is new, but feeling guilty about taking up space, not wanting to be in our voice, it's not a new thing for you. This has been something that's been a pattern, a familiar pattern throughout your life.
Yeah. What I want to speak on. I mean, this is true. I don't know what else to say. It's how I've approached life in certain aspects. It was probably like a coping mechanism, because sometimes maybe it was not safe for me to be seen, and in certain regards, so I just learned to be very small.
Do you feel like there's a risk in being seen now?
No, not really. Not now.
Do you feel like you gave up or missed out on anything throughout life and being small and withdrawing and not taking up space?
Yes.
Like what?
Oh, just a lot of. I mean, really, honestly, a lot of things. Um, I wish I would have worked with different organizations in a bigger way, like CASA. I wish I would have done something with my degree in kinesiology and nutrition, because I knew that I would have been really good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just really just allowing myself to be seen, because I do. Uh, I don't like the spotlight, but yet the spotlight always finds me. And so I feel like it's just extremely uncomfortable for me, because it's this thing that I do feel like sometimes things just naturally gravitate towards me, and I'm extremely uncomfortable with
Yeah, it's interesting hearing you say that because the very things that you regret are the very opportunities that are in front of you now,
it. Yeah.
right? Being able to play a larger part in different organizations, being able to make a larger difference, being able to maybe deploy some of the skill sets you acquired through your degree.
Hmm.
In any case, all of those are about impacting, making a difference for the greater good.
Yeah.
And here you're in this very unique position now where you really are doing well enough, and we've created a platform
Hmm.
and there's people who really find value in what you have to share, and there's people who are desperately looking for hope, or there's going to be researchers who are desperately looking for commonalities with people who are doing long term or whatever it is, right? There's always going to be stuff, and inevitably the playing it small, the withdrawing is repeating the pattern of the very things that you regret from
Hmm.
BC before cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know, like maybe there's part of it that like essentially could have been, or I mean, I'm not saying this wrong, but like successful in my career. And I think I might have been afraid of that, like success.
Totally.
And not success like monetary success. It's like successful in something that I love, like CASA or, um, movement and nutrition. And I don't know, it's it probably goes back down to like when I was younger, being successful or seeing can sometimes be scary. And so I think that underlying theme has been recurring, and it's always on like it's always like an undercurrent of
Yeah.
it of my life.
For as long as I've known you, you have said to me, something akin to, I really want to do this or do more of this, or talking about things, or at least change my circumstances. And then time goes on, you keep kicking the can down the road for the same things that you'd settle for
Mm-hmm.
because you use it tolerant, and you would you had gotten really good at pretending with everybody that you're happy. But then what I would see is how unhappy you were with certain things, and but then there was this unwillingness to change because there was nothing compelling you to change. All of a sudden, glioblastoma comes around. Somebody's telling you, well, you may not be here for a while. That's usually pretty good leverage to get somebody to change. It's like you had said when you were in the hospital talking to your friends and family, how you spent most of your life judging yourself, and because you didn't have this, you didn't have that compared to everybody else, and how sitting in the realization of that, how much it's all just bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in that space where you're compelled and you're seeing your life in a much different way. Also, one of the things you shared with me in the hospital is you don't feel like you live the life you want to live.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're in this place, at least my observation, I can be completely off on this, but you're settling into this place of comfortableness, right? You're comfortable with the routine of things now. You're doing really well. You no longer have the day to day feeling of like the proverbial gun to your head. Like
That
that.
was pretty dramatic.
Well, sometimes you need a flair for dramatic to make a point. And the point I'm making is when we're away from those really immediacy of the scariness with it, it's easy for us to start to slip back into familiar behavior patterns.
Mm-hmm.
With you, what's so unique though is everything that you wish you could have done, you have the opportunity to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just with people who have gone through, have been diagnosed or going through glioblastoma. I've seen and have received messages from people who are going through different types of cancers. I've received messages from people who have lost loved ones to different diseases, and they've talked about how just observing these dialogues we have
Yeah.
helps them better understand what their loved ones went through. And I've received messages from people who are not going through a cancer journey or any sort of illness, but it's just living life, and it gives them, you know, you sharing gives them a perspective on just the life changes they want to make. The fundamental challenge with fear is when we are confronting it, we usually will make that a much larger focus,
Mm-hmm.
and we put it so much in front of us that we no longer see the perspective beyond it, all the people that could be helped, all the impact you could make, the difference you can make,
Yeah.
because the only thing we're looking at is the discomfort that comes from being seen, or the lack of perceived safety, or the guilt of doing so well.
Yeah.
And so then it's a question of do I settle and retreat to the comfort, the familiarity of, oh, I can just kick a can down the road another day, or is it something that I want to work through because there is something meaningful to offer.
Yeah.
Are you just saying that because you're looking at the time and realizing this is running
This is a
long?
very long one.
I'm going to edit some of it out, but it's an important one.
That I don't have all the answers, and I'm just a human being just walking through this.
Yeah.
So it's nice to just talk about it out loud. Like, is everything going to change? No, not at all. But I mean, I do feel myself starting to potentially discover like what I'm capable of. Like I've had a few organizations like reach out to me and like, hey, would you want to get on a podcast or would you want to do this? And I'm just thinking about like the first thing is all actually no, you should I've only been doing this for 18 months or 19 months now. Like you should reach out to this person because they've been doing it longer. And they're like, no, we want your story. And I'm like,
So people are offering you their space to
yeah,
occupy,
but I'm
and you
already,
say
I'm
go fill it with
go
this
do
person
something
instead.
else. No, and it's true. Like, I mean, a few, like quite a few times that I've been offered to do something on a podcast and then kicked it down to somebody else. And because I haven't had this long enough, I haven't whatever long enough, and so
What do you think qualifies somebody as an expert?
anyone who's done something longer than me would be an expert on this like specific situation, right? Like it's
The specific situation, though, is your lived experience.
right. I know it's silly, but
So,
it's
what
true.
makes somebody more of an expert on your lived experience than you? Is who's
Well,
lived their
not
life,
really, and I wouldn't, I guess. I mean,
and that's what
but
people are interested in.
I know. It's hard. It's like a really.
Totally.
I am very uncomfortable on camera. I'm not very good at it.
You did fine on
Wait,
here.
but it really it's super helpful and I'm glad that we're doing it, and every single time I am uncomfortable. I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna say
No,
out
you're
loud?
not.
No, I really am quite
I
uncomfortable.
will make you a bet of $5 that is not the case.
It is the case.
You want to make a bet?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll bet you $5 that is not the case, and I'll prove it.
Sure.
Okay.
Right now?
Yeah.
We'll prove it.
Well, I'm not going to prove it in this one. I'm going to prove it soon.
Okay.
But it is uncomfortable, man, and I get that. I think one of the ways to evaluate discomfort is so there's the discomfort of the moment, being on camera, telling your story, taking up some space, or it's the discomfort of sitting with, looking back at your life and saying, "Gosh, I wish I would have done more with my degree. I wish I would have made more of an impact in organizations." And which is really more uncomfortable. We just usually don't confront that other piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
I felt a level of discomfort I had never ever felt in my life before when the first night after going to the ER and you got put to the one hospital and we'd only had the initial MRI and I was it was midnight. I'd been crying. We didn't know what was going on. And I was on Google trying to figure out what was it that he said. And then I saw the glioblastoma statistic pop up and saying that it's terminal and the horrible statistics attached to it. And it was the most awful feeling I've ever felt. It was helpless. It was all the horrible things. And I can only imagine how many people feel that, experience that every day, whether it's glioblastoma or whatever. And I can only imagine what a difference it would have made for me and what a difference it would have made for others if in that same breath of searching for that answer, I were to see a story like yours or they were to see stories like yours and see this person doing so well. I think one of the ways that we can pay it forward is by giving people a little bit of hope at a time when things seem so scary.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else in this one?
This is going to be like a two-parter.
No? Well, we might do 2 parts or 3 parts. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for sticking with us on this. We love and appreciate you. Talk to you soon. Bye.